We're back again after a while of not doing this, but we're back. Forza Barca podcast is back. We took a hiatus, but we're back now. We're gonna talk about the last few matches that we missed, and we'll dive into today's match too, and we'll have like a general conversation where the club is going, and the team is going, and all that stuff. But um, I hope everybody's okay. I hope you guys are coping okay with the last few weeks. There's been a lot of roller coaster games, a lot of roller coaster performances from our team. But let's get it right into it. Um, Mew, how you
Yo,
been, brother?
you do know the answer, and let me put it this way: it was very, very rough for me to justify even watching anymore, and
Hmm.
it's been tough. Let's be honest, with you. It's been really, really tough. But nonetheless, the last two games, of course, not unfortunately, but of course, just how destiny and karma and whatever you want, the entire universe, of course, is against me and two of their best games this season. But especially after that 3-3 draw against Inter and the Classico, I was fed up with everything.
Well, that's
Um,
that's the thing. Like very inconsistent performances, and that's something that I personally expected. I know we talked about this before the season.
mm,
Having to buy this amount of players that have never played with each other. Most of them are not even from the same league. A lot of them are new to the style or to the intensity that we play as a team. It's
true.
bound to be inconsistent for the next few months. That's just how it is. Once everything gels and the
Mm,
coach actually be able to implement everything he needs to implement, and then we see the performances dipping and not we don't see any improvements, then we can have serious conversation about what the hell are we doing. But the first few weeks, I expected this to happen. I That's why I'm not freaking out. And the season, we shouldn't really be looking at the season till the end to see where we are. Are we improving since last year? Are we in the same boat? Do we need to do changes more? Is the coach working? Is the tactics that the coach is implementing are working or not? All those questions should be asked at the end, not in the first 3 months, which is understandable if you are patient. Um, but
I'm not
at this,
patient.
but at the same time, like I get the frustration from a lot of people that are like, I don't give a fuck. I'm never gonna watch anymore because this is too frustrating, too stressful. That's understandable. So
Mm,
let's break it down. You said that, actually, when we came back from the international break, we saw the performances dip throughout every game we played. You can sense it's just not the same anymore.
mm,
It's not the same level that we were playing before the international break. That's due to it could be for a lot of reasons, but the ones we know, injuries that happened to us were devastating, especially in the back. All the injuries happened in the back for some fucking reason. Everybody else was okay except the ones we
mm.
relied upon in the back. So let's talk about that. I, I know we talked about that behind the scenes, me and you, throughout the whole thing. But what do you think was the reason for us to dip this drastically from then until now, in your opinion?
Well, of course, the injuries, like you said, they came in time that we definitely needed um, defensive stability, and it cost us a lot of important games. I think with some of these players, we can talk about the away game of Inter. I think we deserved at least a draw in that game. So, and but at home, we played, especially in the back, we played awful, and we had I think after the international break, if there is like one or two pillars, and I'm talking about pillars, especially in the back, we didn't have Kunde, we didn't have
Hmm.
Araujo, we didn't have Christensen. So
Right.
all of our, and of course, we can argue that Christensen and Kunde are new players.
Right.
So they shouldn't be pillars, but they are. It
Right.
is what it is. It's a fact. I
Yep.
mean, if you see that guy, even in our losses against Real Madrid, Kunde was absolutely
Was
amazing.
best.
He,
Yeah, the
yeah, he
best of
was the
our team.
best. Yeah,
In our team. Yeah.
and I think it's essential to have, especially in the back, to have the stability that we need because traditionally in the Champions League we are not doing too well
Mhm.
when it comes to defending in the last couple of seasons,
Right.
and that has been a problem for a very long time. We can talk about tactics and adjusting tactics because I think that's also a essential part.
Yep.
You cannot play the same tactics every time, and I'm going to give you a good example of uh, when Xavi does something right and when he does something wrong. Um, we had that away game against Inter, and we
Hmm.
saw that they overcrowded every position.
Hmm.
So they sit back at the back, like
Absorbed everything.
yeah, yeah, four players at the back, four players in the midfield, and all of them are playing defensively. So it's
Right.
it's the classic catenaccio that we know from Italian teams. And then
Right.
you have that fastball in the front, and then you just hope for the best. That's basically their tactics. But when you know they are basically going to try to do the same, maybe press us a little bit higher, because when they played at home, they didn't press us as high as when they were away in the Camp Nou. They
Yep.
they pressed way higher,
Hmm.
and I think Xavi didn't have an answer. Of course, we can talk about the mistakes, the individual mistakes of Piquet, of Garcia, of Busquets. We can talk about those mistakes, but at the end of the day, I think it's all about the tactics. Those guys aren't as reliable as they used to be. Especially Piquet, especially Busquets. They are going to have one or two mistakes in the game that could cost us. And now, fast forward to today. See what he did with Balde. He knew about Nico Williams. He knew about that position. He knew, and he also knew that Nico isn't as good as on the left hand side as he's on the right hand side. He switched like in the 50th minute, if you recall. It was like basically overtime, and then he switched the sides, and he had a good cross in because he's fast. Sergio Roberto cannot mess with his
Right.
pace.
It's too fast for him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's too fast for him. But Balde gave him exactly what he wasn't looking for, because Balde is quick. He's absolutely good at defending, and Nico Williams was like nothing in
He didn't
that
do
game.
anything. Yeah. He
It,
didn't do
it,
anything.
he didn't have any impact, and I still want him as a right back for Barcelona. By the way, the absolute, because that's the position that he started in.
Yeah.
So we can maybe
What?
we because he's an absolutely great player. But just to stay on topic, that's when Xavi is at his best, when he knows how to position players and to know against what team you are playing. He knew he with Kunde he could be at ease when it comes to Iñaki Williams, because
Yeah,
Iñaki Williams comes with pace, of course, but when it comes to that physicality, even though that guy, I don't understand it how he does it, but he has his ability to jump, his ability to defend, his physicality. He's absolutely amazing, and he's
he's
not
he's
tall as
very intelligent. He's
yeah,
very intelligent too, man. He
yeah.
knows when to pass. He knows when to hold the ball and wait. Yeah, I agree with you as far as that goes. But here's where I don't agree with you. I don't think that Javi got it wrong, and especially in the beginning and the first half. I'd say the majority of the game. I don't think he got it wrong tactically against Inter. And the reason I say that is because the majority of the match, we were in control. We created so many chances. We should have been at least three up in the first half. You can argue they had some chances. Of course, you're gonna have some chances. You're playing against Inter Milan, not against Getafe. They're still gonna try to attack when they have a chance. The only the only issues that we've had, and which something that I don't know how he would have fixed. I mean, he could have played maybe Alonso instead of PK in the back. But if he did that, we would have criticized him for that. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is a Champions League game, and we put in somebody who's not a center back in there. He's going to get murdered by Lautaro Martinez and all those fast players. But the reason why we lost that game is because of individual mistakes. And those individual mistakes, doesn't matter how brilliant you are tactically, if you put the players that are they create errors or they make errors that and mistakes that are sometimes just baffling how they do it. There's nothing you can do. We're playing our fourth and fifth choice in center back at that game. Actually, we've been playing with that since Araujo and Kunde were injured. We played with the fourth and fifth choice in center back, and the fact that we've been the majority of the games that we lost or tied were because of individual mistakes. And once that
Mm,
happened, I can say that, and that's something that's something he's again. And Xavi's a new coach. It's not somebody who's a Pep or a club who's been coaching for years. He's still new to the game. So the one thing I can say that he needs to work on is when those mistakes happen, you need to come up with a reaction and actual respond really quick. And I think by the time the response came, it was too late. By the time we actually started again creating so many chances at the second half, it was like the 80th minute or 85th minute or something like that. Then we took control again. We were everybody was hustling. All the players, you can see the urgency there, but it was too late at that point. We started well. The mistakes rattled us, and between that and the end of the game, we had problems getting back into it and taking control again. That's something that could be worked on, I think, as far as that goes. But to your point, we talked about this. He's still a fresh coach. He's still gonna learn. He's learning on the job basically right now. So all these mistakes that he does is something that hopefully he learns from, and it feels like he's learning from it somewhat because the last two games we saw some changes. We saw players that shouldn't be fucking touching the pitch are not playing. We saw trying some new things. Rafinha and Dembele haven't played together really since the Clasico. But you can see when things are not happening, he's trying to change things up and see what works and what doesn't work. With something that you want to see from a coach who's actually trying, not just trying to coast through and rely on the players more than his tactics. Um, so yeah, I think we're still these last two games are something to look positively at. I think we're on the right track, and I think we should be not too happy, but we should be content of what's happening right now over the last two games and look for the future with you know with positivity. But let's go from that to the Clasico because those are the two games that really were the highlights of the last few weeks.
mm.
What did you think of the? I know that we're going into the match. We weren't really excited about it. We knew that the team was not doing well, so we didn't really expect them to fucking light up the Bernabeu again. But
No,
what did you think
I
about the match?
did. Honestly, I did expect them because of that shitty Inter game. I thought they need to step up and at least keep that number one spot. That's what I thought. Not if it's not a win, at least a draw. That's
Right.
what I was hoping for. But once again, stark, very grave individual mistakes that all of them led to goals, and it's always the same thing. And of course, mistakes are gonna happen, and mistakes are going to lead to the goals that the opponent is. That's how football works.
Right.
Um, in the rarest of rarest cases, it's just the opponent being so dominant and so good that there is no mistake being made, and it's just whether it's a shot from 30 yard or whatever. They even if you have like the best defenders. So it's where you're gonna put on the blame. It's sometimes it's masterclass by the opponent, but there was
Right.
no masterclass at all.
No, there wasn't.
And I'm not saying that as a Barca fan, but there was no masterclass at all from Real. That Real side, you could have not easily, but you could have won that game. You could have scored more than one goal, more than, of course. Once again, that the decisions of the refs this season are absolutely against us. It is what it is. It needs to be
Yeah.
said. I mean, that Inter away game, that classical call, absolutely
It's baffling. It's
mind-boggling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe some of the calls that that have been missed in our favor. Like I don't understand it. I don't know if it's just negligence or on purpose. I don't know, and most of us people that watch don't know. But it seems like it's excessive this year. And
Mm.
it's I know it's part of the game. It happens to. Uh, I mean, if you watch other football matches, I'm sure it happens to a lot of teams. But it just sucks that this year, when we need the luck, in some games, we just have not been getting it. We've been fucked
Yeah,
over.
we
We're fucked over, and it's not like it's not to say that that's why we lost, but that's helps a lot in the other team's favor. And it
mm.
stacks the odds against us at that point. So,
I mean, at
um,
that point, it would have been a possible 2-1. I mean, of course, Lewandowski got to put that in, but to be honest, he's a fairly good penalty taker. So
yeah,
it was fair to say that we could have changed tides at that
yeah,
point.
right,
But
right,
it's but even though I gotta say when they came out in their second half, I think the first half was absolutely okay in
yeah,
some ways. So we didn't have that luck. We didn't put those in. I mean, of course, we got to talk about Lewandowski in the first half. He needs to put that in,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
we weren't bad. But when we came out, that first 15
Minutes
minutes
was dreadful. We were, and
was absolutely
you
horrible.
got to give credit. Madrid played really well in that 15 minutes. They passed the ball really well. They
Yeah,
stayed
of
in our
course.
half. They stayed in our half and passed the ball really well. And they tried to create as much as they
But
could for
they
that 15 minutes.
you will eventually have those phases with good
Yeah, yeah,
teams. Yeah, you
exactly.
will have that same phase, and you got to learn from those mistakes. I think the outcome and even the entire game, the entire language, if I may say so. It was just like, let me phrase it better. It was like a symphony. The entire symphony of that game was similar to that first Bayern game.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
the exact same. I'm not even gonna say that that Madrid played a bit better than Bayern in the first half, because Bayern was absolutely they were
no,
absolutely
absolutely, I agree. Yeah,
chanceless. They didn't have any
right.
chance. Nothing. They could be happy that it was just 0-0 and we didn't score our goals. It would easily be 2-0, 3-0 up. But it was similar in the way it went, and in the way it was, basically that game was written. We weren't a bad side, but that those individual mistakes. And now we can talk about those guys that were missing. We can talk about those guys that were missing, and we would honestly, um, have a good point, because it was the backside that hurt us the most. It wasn't
Right.
our. I mean, of course, Lewandowski or whatever, whoever, they eventually going to score, and they showed that in that game. I mean, when Ferran came on and Ansu came on, they had that power.
Yeah.
They brought some freshness into the game, and Lewandowski is you cannot write that man off. He's
Right.
a
But
beast.
to be fair, he only had two I think opportunities to shoot and for the whole match. He didn't get a lot of service throughout the match, and
No, it's not on a striker.
it's
I
not.
mean,
No, it's not. That's
yeah.
what that's my point. Like it's
Well,
we can say that he should have scored the couple of chances that he got, but but there's just two chances in a 90-minute game. You don't, especially against a Madrid side that's really well put together defensively. They have really
I mean,
good
it's
defenders.
really rough. It was really rough against Bayern, because that was the two of those need to go in.
Yes,
It
that
was
absolutely. He had
really
more than two
rough.
chances there, though. He had, especially in the
Uh,
first half, he could have scored three goals. I think at least some of the chances he got, he should have put them in.
mhm.
That's a whole different situation than the Madrid game. But yeah, you're right. Like it's some of those chances. Once you get them, that's the reason why we got you. So you put those in. Uh, but
And
you're right.
it's going to be like that. I mean, he's
Yeah,
not a machine. It's going to be like that, and I don't blame him, particularly. Even though I may get angry when he puts on,
doesn't
he
score.
misses those
Yeah,
100 percenters. But at the end of the day, it's not on him. He's doing his job. I mean, if you look at the stats, he's absolutely doing his jobs.
right.
Four assists, 12 goals. It's
Insane.
insane.
It's insane. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's exactly what we needed
yeah.
for the center forward. And that's the thing. Like that's why I don't think a lot of it is you can say, oh, the tactics are not working because they are. We're scoring every match. We've been scoring, so that part of it is working. The reason
Yeah,
why
but
we've
if
been
we
conceding.
blaming it, but if we
Uh,
blaming everything on
Not
individual
everything.
mistakes,
No,
but
not
the most
everything.
part. No, 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 I'm
Yeah,
saying, just if we go ahead and say it's the individual mistakes that are, especially in those important games, quote
yes,
unquote, in those important games, if the individual mistakes cost us, then in stark contrast, we can also say that the individual masterclass of some of these players, not all of them perform every game, but some of them perform in games like Dembele today, absolute masterclass.
absolutely. Yeah,
Lewandowski, um, had a masterclass, against a lot of teams this season. So, it's their individual quality. Of course, we bought them because of their individual quality,
right.
but the link up needs to happen. I mean, if we see somebody like Dembele and Rafinha having a rough game, Xavi needs to come up with something quick.
Yep.
It's not on us to speculate how and why and all of that. All of that is shit talk. I mean, it's just banter from my side. But he needs to come up with something,
But
because he's the coach.
here's the thing. But here's the thing. A lot, like you said, we had individual mistakes. Those individual mistakes are not coming from the midfield. For the majority of the games, they're not coming for the forwards. It's coming from the back. The goals that were scored on either Eddie Garcia or Piqué fucked up. We don't have anybody else at a center forward, center back that's in the bench. We don't. All of them are injured. Who are we gonna put on? Who are you gonna put on? To be mindful, if you put somebody on that's not a center back in a very important game, you put them in a place where they're not comfortable. They're gonna be more prone to errors because it's not their natural position. So you get to that point where what the fuck do I do? Like
I
when I
mean,
was
right
when
now,
No, I
right
meant in
now.
those two games, the two games that
No,
we
no,
had.
absolutely, absolutely. If he would have put in somebody unnatural to his position, he would have gotten shit from us as well,
Right.
especially from me. But right now, there's no way he can put in Piquet. It's
He's not. But
if
he's yeah, obviously.
Christensen,
Yeah.
if Christensen isn't ready, if Eric Garcia isn't ready, you need to put on Alonso. It's no
Now that we
way.
know,
Yeah,
now that we know he can play that,
no,
that's the thing. He
not
played him and
even that
tried
he
him.
can play that. Just after that fucking performance by Piquet.
Right. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. But my point is, he tried him in that position in games that weren't very important. You know what I mean in themselves. He put him against last game. I can't remember what other game that he put him on. But he didn't try it like in Madrid game or in the Inter game.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? Now that we know he can actually handle himself there, I'm not gonna be surprised if I see him start against Bayern, him and Kunde in the right. If Christensen is back, maybe him and Christensen in the back, and then Kunde plays at right. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. But we'll see. I don't know how serious the injury to Sergio Roberto is. But even if if Sergio Roberto plays at right back, I think Kunde will still gonna help him and cover for him on the right when he goes up or whatever. But that's just beside the point. Well, but my point is we didn't really have that luxury to be like, okay, well, Piquet is fucking up, so I'm not gonna play him. Then who the fuck am I gonna play? Kunde wasn't ready either at that point. So that's why I'm like, when we lost the Clasico, when we tied against Inter, I wasn't too worried because we don't have the personnel to put up. And if you change anything tactically, where you put in players that don't belong in that position in very important games, you that's just bound for a disaster. Either it's gonna be a disaster or you're barely gonna scrap by, and most likely it's a disaster because really when you do that, you're just putting a player in a very uncomfortable position. You should say they're professional, whatever, but still putting them in a position that they don't play in an important game, and switching the tactics altogether for them. That's just not something that's recommended really to
But I
do.
gotta say, from the games, of course, it's not the importance, not the intensity against Inter and Real Madrid. It's not the same as if you play against Elche or whatever.
Right,
I
right.
understand that, but coming from, I mean, you know the guy, you know Alonso, you know he's whether he's stable, his stability and stuff. You see that in training, you see that in plays, and you know from scouting how resilient he is. So if he's resilient, and I think with Piquet, even in the past, having some problems when it comes to these important games. I mean, just remember
Yeah,
PSG. Just
right.
remember even the Classico 2 years ago.
Yeah,
It's disastrous. It
yeah.
was absolutely disastrous, and that's just simply gambling at this point. It's gambling. Of course, it could backfire, but as sometimes as a coach, you need to have those big ass balls and just say, "I'm going to do this because I'm not trusting this guy anymore." And I'm not trying to shit on Piquet. He has done a lot for this club, and on my side, I still love this guy, but it's
It's
over.
just yeah, it's just done. It's
God,
just
you just
yeah,
sometimes you just gotta admit it's over. It's
right.
over. You gave us everything, and you gave us a lot of joy back in the days, but right now, boy, you
It's
need
over, brother.
to.
It's over.
It's absolutely over. There's no way he can't come back from that.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, so let's jump to today's game. Um, what did you think overall about today's game?
It was, and again, this is just like I said against Villarreal. It's a good side, and we played fucking amazing football, and that's what I need to see. That's
Yeah,
that's the mentality that I need to see. That's the display that I need to see from Barcelona. It's not like it's. I don't try to sound cocky in any way, but this is FC Barcelona. So Football Club Barcelona. We are. not only we can demand that after this transfer window and after all the hardships that we had, but we can also demand that because we are used to good football. We are used to
Right.
good football. We don't want those, and it's not about the goals. It's about
How we
having
play. Yeah.
that play, having that link up, having that beautiful organic play on the pitch, and I think they delivered. They delivered in both games, against Villarreal and against Athletic. It was both were home games, both clean sheets, and
Yeah.
very very strong sides.
Still, we haven't conceded a single goal in the Liga in the Camp Nou to
Yeah,
this day.
at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great stat. Especially for Stig, and hopefully that gives him even more confidence. But Bilbao hasn't lost away. Yeah, so this is their first loss today.
Mhm.
So it's these kind of stats that show you that. I know you would say, "Oh, Bilbao is not really great." They've been playing really well this season. Valverde switched them on. Maybe this match they
Yeah.
didn't show it. It could be them. It could be us. It could be a little bit of both. But we did exactly what we were supposed to do. Moved the
Mhm.
ball really well. We created a lot of chances, and we had a lot of runs from the wings that, especially from Dembele's side, because I think Pedro's side was not really meant for that. He's just meant to control really the pace of the game and have Balde run once in a while on the left there once in a while. But Dembele was all Dembele, all of it. Today
Mhm.
he created, he scored, he did whatever he wanted to do today. And that's something that if he stays consistent, this is exactly what we need from him. That's the thing. Like he does these amazing matches, and then he goes back to losing the ball easily and not knowing exactly when to pass and when to dribble. Um, he needs to figure that shit out. He can't tease us like
I
this.
think it's a lot. I mean, this season I can see his focus. He's
Yeah,
out of focus more than the seasons before, and I think he even said that his focus on football
yeah,
wasn't always there, and
right.
this season especially he's trying to perform on a consistent base. But to be honest, it's not those teams, those two teams, Villarreal and Bilbao, and I was slightly surprised with Bilbao how they played because they tried to press, but it wasn't like consistent. And if you try something like that against Barcelona, against this Barcelona side, they it seems
Take you
like they
apart.
forgot.
Yeah,
They forgot what we are capable of, and Dembele absolutely he he uh, he broke them apart.
yeah,
He was havoc. He was
yeah. But
absolutely.
they left so much space
Yeah,
behind him
yeah,
that
and
he just
that's
was able to do
something
whatever
that
he
he
wants.
needs. That's something
Yeah,
that Dembele needs, space, just to create chances to create. And you can see his quality in those last third. We always think, well, he's not good at crossing, passing, and stuff. But this season, his assists are what I call quality. I mean, that
yeah.
pass to Ferran,
One
absolutely
to
amazing.
Lewandowski. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did whatever he wanted to do today.
Yeah.
He was free to do whatever he wanted to do, and he did it. That's something that he's not gonna find in every match because the majority of the teams that come play in the Camp Nou or play against us, period, just sit back and wait until there is an opportunity to go forward and counterattack. And
Mhm.
if we don't have our defenders that we rely on, we get fucked because the majority of the defenders that don't play regularly uh, do not have the same quality as the ones that do. Like if you swap Araujo and Kunde and put in Eric and Piqué, we're gonna get fucked in the counter. That's just how it is. But that's what makes or breaks playing against those kind of teams. If we don't have good defenders, we're gonna get
Mhm.
screwed because you lose one ball in the midfield and they will counter attack you, especially if they have fast players. Think of Madrid or Bayern when they come this week. That's exactly what Bayern is going to do. They're gonna sit back and then wait for Alfonso Davies and whoever is on the other side to go forward and try to score. That's just how they're gonna try to play. So we'll see if this is gonna be an answer, but um, we if we can sort out the defense, I'm pretty sure we will have this season will be great. And if when Araujo comes back, that's even gonna be even better because we'll have our full squad back again, and hopefully nobody gets injured and
Yeah, I think
keep
Araujo
going.
is going to be next year, sometimes next year. It's not going
Yeah,
to
he
be
should be
this
back.
year.
He should be back next month. But he, of course, by the time he comes back, he'll be the World Cup anyway. So yeah, next year he'll be back.
Uh,
Um,
I don't know. Is he going? Does he want to
there's
go?
it's like there's a chance he might go, but if he does, it'll be more of like playing the last two games or the last game or something. I don't know. But he,
Hopefully not.
I, I heard that he's trying to make it, but I mean, if it is what it is, if he can't make it, he can't make it. There's a reason why he did the surgery, not waited like didn't want to wait like TT. So, which is a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he saw how that guy absolutely took a nosedive.
Yeah,
It's for the better, but I don't think he should go to the World Cup.
I mean, if he's not fit, definitely.
We we
Yeah,
we we will have a lot of our youngsters already going,
yeah,
so possibly even after those performances, possibly even Balde. Um,
that would be
I think,
insane if Enrique calls him up.
yep. Yeah, that's difficult. I mean,
Yeah,
we will have Pedri, Gavi, and
Busquets.
yeah, well, Busquets and Jordi Alba can go fuck themselves.
Alonso, I think
Honestly,
too. Isn't Alonso was called up last time?
they are not pillars. I
They're
don't
not.
care
Yeah, yeah,
if they. But then again, Frankie will be gone, and
yeah.
it's going to be difficult for
I
us.
think
Just, just
the majority is gonna go play of our
Lewandowski.
starters. Everybody, I think, besides Balde. OKCA is not going, but the rest I think are right. I can't think of anybody else
So
that's not
Ivory
going.
Coast not qualified?
No,
No.
no. Ghana, Cameroon, Morocco, and Tunisia. I might be forgetting somebody else, but
Nigeria, maybe.
maybe no. What was it? Nigeria? No, Senegal. Senegal.
Senegal.
Yeah, yeah,
Going to be difficult. I mean, a lot of players are going. So,
yeah. Should be fun, but yeah, it's been a roller coaster of
I want your predictions. I mean, I don't have any hope for the Champions League that we can stay in the Champions League.
yeah. I don't think we will either. I mean, Inter is not gonna because
No,
are they playing away or at home against Pelzen?
at home,
Oh shit! Yeah, that's not. They're not losing points there.
because their last game is away
They,
against.
they won it, right? The away one.
Yep,
Yeah.
2-0 or 3-0, something like that.
Yeah.
There's no chance. I mean, football, everything is possible, but that is just.
Here's I'll say this: if Inter ties or loses, we will qualify for the Champions League.
We need to win that game against
No, I know.
Bayern. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. If Inter loses or ties against Pelzen, we will qualify for the Champions League. That's my prediction for the Champions League because I think that will give us an
Uh,
extra push,
but
extra fire to win the rest of the
even
games.
even if they draw or lose, we need Bayern to win against Inter. You
They
do
will
know
win
that.
against Inter. Bayern does not do will go soft on these motherfuckers. They don't do that.
Why? They have no reason to go hard on them.
They're gonna play at home against Inter. You think they're gonna let Inter win at home?
Why not?
Why would they?
Because they are already through.
So last year, remember last year we were in the same predicament. You don't remember that? They nailed everybody they came to the arena. They don't do let's just take it easy. They don't do that. That's my point. And they shouldn't. Why would they? You know what I mean? They have everybody, even their bench is fucking amazing. So why would they put in the bench? The bench is better than fucking Inter's starting lineup anyway. So I don't think they will. I don't think Bayern is going to lose or tie against Inter. So tomorrow's not tomorrow, but
I mean, if they tie against Pilsen, and we win against Pilsen, it doesn't matter. They can tie against Bayern, but
yeah,
if
but
they win
why
against,
would not we win against Pilsen? I think we win against Pilsen. That's what I'm saying. I think if they tie Pilsen, I'm not even gonna worry about the Bayern one because I think the Bayern will win. So if they tie against Pilsen and we win Bayern, well, we definitely want to win Bayern if they tie. But that's just my prediction. I don't know for a fact, but if they tie or win or lose against Pilsen, I think we will qualify. But that's just like you know probably not gonna
yeah,
happen.
that's
Yeah,
insane.
that's just like my wild prediction that might happen, but most likely not gonna happen. But even if
But
like it is what it
to be
is.
honest, I don't even I don't even want it to happen because the scenes that would unfold if Inter loses against Pilsen or ties against, and we lose against Bayern. You don't want to see those scenes. I mean, if Inter is through, I don't even care. I'm not even going to watch probably
Oh, you will
because
watch.
who gives a fuck?
You will
No,
watch, bro.
no, 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 no,
You
no,
say that every time, but you watch it every time.
no, 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 no.
No, 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 no.
I,
You will watch. No, 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 no. You will watch.
I don't.
And I'll
I
just be
don't.
texting you, Livy, let's fucking go. And you're like, God damn it.
Why?
Where's the money?
Why? Why?
Still,
Why?
it's still a game, man.
Come on, come on, man.
Come on.
It's without any
That doesn't
meaning.
matter. It's for confidence, man. What do you mean without meaning? You don't think the players will feel good winning against Bayern?
I don't know.
No?
I mean, I don't know. I said I don't know. I don't think it's that important to them.
It is. I think it is. It should be. Where we don't want to lose in the freaking Camp Nou. We still haven't lost in the Camp Nou. Why would we want to lose now?
Hmm. Well, let me put it this way. If they win against if Pilsen win against Inter and we lose against Bayern, I hope to God that we lose against Pilsen so we don't go to the Europa League. Honestly.
Wow, dude. Go out
I
straight
hope
out.
that go straight out. Don't even worry about anything.
Oh,
Don't play
we need the
Europa League.
experience, man. We need the kids to have experience. So let's go to Europa League.
No,
I'm
no,
okay.
no, no,
I don't know
no.
why they hate for Europa, man. They have this year. Europa League is as good as Champions League team wise, man. You see the teams that are playing there now.
Yeah,
It's
Man U,
insane.
Arsenal. Uh,
Yeah,
they're good teams, but I don't care about Europa League. Going to be honest, man.
I do. I care about it from that perspective, where I think the majority of our players are young. These experiences are gonna matter a lot for the next few seasons because they're gonna get the European for whatever you can get it. Because we gonna need it for next few seasons, and for the coach to actually, this is a good experience for him too, right? Get your tactics out, trying to figure out which one what works, what doesn't work for the players. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
I
But
hope.
as far as prediction, I think we will be really close if not winning the league. I think we will be this close. If we don't win it, we'll be like a point or 2 points behind. Um, and I think for the see, this is hard to predict the Copa del Rey because it's only one match now until until the semifinals. So I don't even know I don't know how we're gonna do, but um, uh, I'd say we get to the final for Copa del Rey, but that's just wild one because I don't know.
Xavi needs to win the league.
I think
Otherwise,
I
it's
think
about
I think we're either going to win it or we will be like 1 or 2 points behind because Madrid is not fucking losing a lot of points, and you saw that. Like even when they're fucking playing terribly, they're very clutch. They for some fucking reason or somehow they score a goal out of nowhere. So that's their superpower, I guess, for the last 2 seasons, and it doesn't seem like it's stopping. But maybe after the World Cup, things will be different. Who knows? But yeah, it's if we don't win
I
it,
think
we will be super
it's
close.
we have a lot tougher schedule I mean, even when we are going to play next year, we have a tougher schedule than them. We going to play back to back like I saw like Betis and then Atletico and then I can't recall, but we have a lot tougher schedule than them. They have like one big game and then three games
Yeah,
against
but
some.
if you notice, Madrid loses points in the small teams, not against the big teams. So saying, oh,
They
they
did.
have
They played us. They played Atletico and they won. But other than that, they didn't have any big team. I
Sevilla
don't even
yesterday.
consider it. Yeah. Now I don't consider this season. Not at all. We won against them 3-0.
Yeah, well, we're not a
They
fucking small team, bro. We won against them
no,
3.
I'm not, no, I'm saying Sevilla this season
And it's not
it's not
yesterday's
even
Sevilla,
in the
last
discussion of
year's.
being something
Yeah,
difficult
but
to beat.
my point is they historically lose a lot of points to the smaller teams, to the Mallorcas and to Getafes than the big clubs. Even last year, if we watch their matches, they struggle against those small teams that pack it back. They don't play because when Madrid is their strength is when they have to counterattack, and you saw that in the Champions League where they just sit back and just fucking explosive counterattacks with Vinny and Benzema to try to score. When the other teams sit back and do the same thing they are doing, they find it really hard to actually crack them down and score. So that's I feel like that's why one of the reasons why they play like shit when they play against teams that just sit back and don't do nothing. So we'll see what happens, and we're either gonna win or we're gonna be closer. That's my prediction. What do you think?
I hope for Xavi that he will win because otherwise, for me, it's he's done. He's finished.
No.
Copa del Rey, I don't care to be honest. Just going to be honest, I don't care about Copa del Rey. Nobody should.
Okay.
Nobody that is a Barca fan should care about Copa del Rey. Madrid could win the next 10 years Copa del Rey, and they wouldn't even come close to our tally. So
Yeah, we're
I don't
we're.
give a fuck about Copa del Rey.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
And well,
Europa
Europa
League.
League, I don't care. Being honest, as long as we don't get once again humiliated by a small club like Frankfurt, I don't care. If we lose against Arsenal or
I mean,
Menu in a
Frankfurt won
decent
the Europa League too. So
manner,
yeah,
then
you're okay with it.
well, they won against whom? Against Glasgow? What the fuck? Against
Was it?
Glasgow Rangers?
I don't remember who was the final.
Yeah, it was Glasgow Rangers against.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a sad final, man. And you don't know. Over here in Germany, they are some. I got a colleague. He told me about Ballon d'Or, and he was pissed. And I said to him, "Well, I was basically all right with every nominee and every winner, so I was I was fine with Benzema winning
Yeah,
the
Benzema
trophy.
deserved the hell out of it. Deserved
Yeah,
it.
and
100%.
and I was fine, except the team of the year. There
That
was
was
some
fucked
weird
up. That
shit.
was fucked up.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
yeah,
Really?
that was some weird shit. But then he goes on and tell me Frankfurt should have won it, and I told
Should
him
have won what? The best team?
the best team, and I told him why, and he starts to giggle. Well, they thrashed you and stuff like that, and I said like Villarreal and Valencia had like 5 to 3 to 6 year streaks in the Europa League. No one gave a fuck. Not a single one gave a fuck about even considering them for best team. And now because Frankfurt won it, to me,
But they got battered by Madrid in the Super Cup. What the fuck do they? What the fuck is their argument
I don't even know.
then?
I
So
don't
they
even.
want to have that the trophy, but they don't want the team that beat them in a final to have it. That's just stupid ass argument. But I agree that was fucking dumb. Let's just give City the team of the year, even though the team that fucking beat them and won the Champions League and won the domestic league. Sorry, that's just fucking stupid. I just
Yep.
yeah,
That's stupid. Yeah, of course, Madrid should have won it.
yeah,
Although I like the football that City played better, to be honest. I
yeah. I
think
mean, they played a
City,
better game
yeah,
football
both
wise.
games,
Yeah, but
both games.
like we said, Madrid only need 1-2 chances and that's it, and that's exactly what they did. Just waited and then fucking last few minutes they turned it up
Yeah.
and scored the goals and that's it. But
Clutch
yeah,
turned to a T.
yeah. But yeah. So, do you have anything you want to add before we wrap this motherfucker up?
Nope. I think the last two games were a beautiful display of how it can go for us and how it should go by now. But this season is full of surprises. Maybe some surprises that are going our way. And
I hope so.
hopefully-
We've been going against us for the last few weeks. Hopefully, we get some good news. But all right. So, thank you everybody for tuning in and listening. And, we appreciate it. And we'll be back again after the Bayern match, and we'll talk and see where we are, if my predictions are right or not, if we're close to the Champions League or close to the Europa League. Oh boy. So thank you, and we'll catch you again to another episode of Forza Barca Podcast. Peace, Barca.